U.S. and Israeli forces have been conducting sustained air and missile strikes inside Iran, targeting military and strategic sites, including air defense systems and command centers. Iranian forces continue to retaliate with missile, drone, and rocket barrages against Israeli territory and U.S. regional assets. Air defense systems in central Israel have been activated. The Iran-Israel war has transcended its original bilateral scope and is now a multi-front conflict involving global powers diplomatically, several neighboring countries, militarily, and international institutions. The Middle East is once again at the center of a major conflict. A direct confrontation between Israel and Iran has drawn in global powers and regional actors, making this war not just about military actions, but also about alliances, politics, and complex geopolitics. Today, we look into who stands with Iran, who stands with Israel, and where the world is divided in this ongoing crisis. To truly understand the alliances in this war, we first need to take a look at the roots of the conflict. Many people don't realize that before 1979, Israel and Iran were actually strategic partners. Both countries shared interests in the region, particularly in countering Soviet influence and supporting certain groups in the Middle East. But everything changed with the Iranian Revolution in 1979. After the revolution, Iran shifted its stance, severing ties with Israel and supporting movements that oppose Israeli policies. The decades that followed have seen Iran forge a network of proxy groups across the Middle East. These groups have become part of Iran's strategy in its ongoing conflict with Israel. Groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, and militias in Iraq are all part of the Axis of Resistance, a coalition aimed at countering Israeli influence in the region. What's more, Iran's alliances extend beyond just these groups. It has received support from Russia, which often opposes Western influence in the region. Russia has condemned actions taken by Israel and has deepened its ties with Iran in recent years. Additionally, China has also supported Iran in its pursuit of sovereignty and influence, particularly as tensions rise between the U.S. and Iran. Even countries like Venezuela and North Korea have expressed political support for Iran, albeit for more ideological reasons. This support network is not just about military might, it's also about deep ideological, sectarian, and strategic concerns shared by many of Iran's partners. So why do these countries and groups back Iran? First and foremost, there's a shared opposition to Israel and the U.S., particularly regarding American military presence and Israel's policies toward Palestinians. Iran's leadership has always positioned itself as the champion of Palestinian rights and a vocal opponent of Israeli actions. On top of TS, Iran's military and political strategy hinges on a network of proxies and allies, which gives it the ability to project power while avoiding direct military confrontation. There's also a deeply ingrained sectarian bond, with many of Iran's allies sharing religious or political beliefs that align with Tehran's leadership. On the other side of the conflict, Israel is far from alone. Its long-standing ally, United States, remains its closest partner in this war. The U.S. provides Israel with unparalleled military aid, intelligence support, and diplomatic backing. This partnership is fundamental for Israel's security, as the U.S. serves as a powerful deterrent against any potential escalation of the conflict. But it's not just the U.S. Israel also has support from many European nations. Though their support is often more measured, they publicly back Israel's right to defend itself. Israel's ties with countries like France, Germany, and the UK are well established. The dynamics between these Western powers and Israel are rooted in shared democratic values and strategic concerns, especially over Iran's nuclear ambitions and regional influence. In recent years, there has been a noticeable shift in the Arab world, with several Arab states increasingly cooperating with Israel. The UAE, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and even Jordan have all quietly aligned themselves with Israel, largely out of concern over Iran's growing influence. This alignment isn't just about Israel's military capabilities, it's also about security, economic interests, and diplomatic leverage. These countries view Iran as a direct threat to regional stability, and they are starting to embrace a more pragmatic relationship with Israel in an effort to counterbalance that threat. The relationship between Israel and these Arab nations has become more public in recent years. especially following the Abraham Accords in 2020, which led to normalization agreements between Israel and several Arab states. These countries have found common ground with Israel on issues such as technology, defense, and trade, which has only deepened the cooperation between them. But not everyone is choosing a side in this conflict. Many countries have opted for neutrality or have divided stances. Nations like India and Turkey have been hesitant to fully align with either side, advocating for de-escalation. Instead, India, with its strategic interests in both the Middle East and South Asia, has tried to maintain a delicate balance. Turkey, for its part, has criticized both Israel and Iran at times, positioning itself as a potential mediator while protecting its own interests in the region. Then, there are those countries that are caught somewhere in between, trying to navigate the complexities of global power dynamics while balancing their own regional interests. Spain and some other European nations have criticized the escalation of violence in the region, but have not fully sided with one party over the other. Their calls for peace reflect a broader international desire to avoid a larger war. As we delve deeper into these alliances, we see how humanity is caught in the middle. The political and military decisions made by these global players don't just impact governments, they affect the lives of civilians, refugees, and communities throughout the Middle East. Millions have been displaced by the violence, families are divided, and the humanitarian crisis continues to grow. We also have to look at the economic consequences of this war. Oil prices are rising, and trade routes are being disrupted. The global economy feels the ripple effects of instability in such a crucial part of the world. As the conflict rages on, the world stands divided. Countries supporting Israel, those backing Iran, and many in between, all have a stake in the outcome of this war. The consequences are not only military, they are economic, diplomatic, and, most importantly, human. This war, like many before it, will leave its mark on history. And as the situation continues to evolve, one thing is clear: the alliances formed today will shape the future of the Middle East and the world at large for years to come.